I've given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. You don't really think you'll win, do you? I'm Batman.
Hello and welcome to episode 128 of the Batman on Film podcast. BOF is the sponsor as well as a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network. Check out all the shows over at batmanpodcastnetwork.com and follow its Twitter over at BatPodNetwork. If you're listening to us on iTunes, if you take the time to rate and review the show, we'll read it on the air. And BOF is also now on Patreon, so if you like what we do here at BOF, whether it's the podcast or vlogs or the website itself, anyone help support us if you're so inclined, please head over to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm and sign up. I am the host of today's episode, Ryan Haas, and our topics today are pretty loaded. We're talking about some DCEU news first, before diving into a deep dive discussion of the DC Universe original series Titans. But I can't do this show alone, and it would be really awful if it was just me talking for an hour and a half. So I have a few people along to help do just that. So first we have Mr. Pete Verra. How are you doing, dude?
Dude, it's a pleasure to be here.
I am glad that you are here. We also have Mr. Eric Holzmann. How are you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. It is another BOF After Dark show. So that's kind of our preferred way to do shows these days. At least to me it is. Babies are asleep, in theory. You can kind of just sit back and talk some Batman. You can have a drink.
Overnights with Batman on Film.
The last episode, the Rocky episode we did, me and Rick and Aaron from the Fanboy Garage, we all had some drinks while we talked about Rocky, so that was a good time. We also have one other person here on the show, everybody's pal, and also host of the Rob and Everyone Loves the Drake podcast, Rob Myers. How are you doing?
Doing very well on this fine after evening podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of oh, yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is Aquaman. I was going to talk about some DC EU news here. So last weekend was the New York Comic Con, and as part of that, during that, Warner Brothers released what they called an extended video. Was it almost 5 minutes long? Something like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty long. It was an extended video.
5 minutes, 18 seconds. I'm watching it right now.
There you go. It's just a longer trailer of Aquaman. Personally, I thought it played to me a lot better than the first trailer. But I want to get your guys' take on it. What did you guys think?
I was really into it. I liked the first one, but this was cool. I mean, you got a little bit more of like Arthur's backstory and kind of you got to see Nicole Kidman kick ass, which is really insane. She's using that Quindent or whatever it's called. You got a really good look at the trench. Black Manta kind of stole the show. I mean, he looked probably the best. Mara was amazing. She's strong, just really trying to push Arthur. Really cool special effects, giant crustaceans, people on sharks. It looks like an underwater extravaganza. And then you have the final shot of classic Aquaman, which is
that was cool.
Something that's been made fun of for so long, and just to see he's got green gloves, green pants, and a gold shirt, and
it looks badass.
Yeah,
and you're like, wow, okay, this is it. Like, I can't believe this is happening, but like, I'm all for this at this point.
What'd you think, Rob?
I thought it ditto. I just thought it was great. And I did like the first trailer quite a bit, but this one. Just the sequence of a typical James Wan where it's like one continuous shot where you've got like the soldiers chasing Mira and Arthur through that whole sequence and where they get blasted off the top of the roof. I thought, how can I say that the best way without sounding like an idiot? People were like, oh my gosh, we saw one huge action sequence. And then to see a tweet from James Wan that's like, that's just That's just the start of it. So I thought that was it was fantastic. And the thing that kind of really blew me away is like, what's the underwater, world going to look like? And we got kind of sort of a taste of it in Justice League, but this is like a million times, better. As amazing I thought the Gungans looked in Phantom Menace and their underworld water thing, this just kind of blew my mind. So I can't wait to see the settings and how everything's going to work in the underwater part for Atlantis. So yeah, I was amazed by it.
What about you, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I concur with what Rob and Pete said. I mean, I think this one really opened up the world a little bit and kind of gave you a better idea of where exactly the movie's going to go. Mm-hmm. I understood the issues people had with the first trailer, and I think this one kind of cleaned them up a bit. So yeah, I mean, just piling on top of what Pete and Rob said, the visuals were incredible. I mean, it was just a really, really well done video. I wonder if it did make me question, though, if they're going to do these things more often on films that maybe people are lukewarm on. I don't know.
Yeah, it felt to me like it reminded me. I told this to Rick. It reminded me of when Batman Begins came out, when it was one of the Smallville finale seasons in 2005. They, in between like commercial breaks, they had like a 5-minute Batman Begins preview, almost like this, where it was like, please come watch this movie. We're going to show you 5 minutes of it to get you invested in it, So it felt like that to me a little bit.
Yeah, maybe to take some of the stink off of Justice League.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I mean, we've heard that. I think Paul Shirey from Joe Blow said, or Joblo, if you're Rick Shue, said he said that Paul Shirey said that this is what they showed to the attendees in San Diego Comic-Con this year after the main trailer. But I think that's good if they had that in their back pocket and they can release this to show people, because I mean, it didn't really spoil anything extra. I didn't think it just like Eric said,
a lot of what was in the trailer. The first one, it just seems like it's a little bit longer.
Yeah, like Eric said, it's the same, but it expanded the world. For me, I got a much better sense of the tone. Like, it feels like it's got some adventure to it, and it's got some serious stuff, but it feels a lot like an Indiana Jones adventure kind of thing, but underwater.
It definitely helped define what swashbuckling meant. Like, you can say swashbuckling, and then you reference Indiana Jones or like a Pirates of the Caribbean,
right?
But actually, that chase scene, like, I was like, okay, I get it. And they're in the desert, and I'm like, so it's kind of like really adventure oriented. There's a lot of action, and I mean, just anytime Manta was on the screen, I couldn't take my eyes off from. I mean, he looked incredible.
Manta looked great. The action looked great. Like when they like crash through the roof and then the weapons go off, to me, like that stuff all looked just really fun and dynamic to me.
Yeah, the rooftop stuff with Mira when she's running across the roof, I kept thinking like James Bond or you know, something like that. It was kind of one of those type of scenes that you would see in one of those movies, a Bourne movie or a Bond movie or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, in the end shot to me of Aquaman in the armor, it's almost like, turn me into a GIF, please. Like, and that happened like immediately, of course. So I mean, I just James Wan is a good filmmaker. He has a good knack for visuals and composing a good shot. So, you know, as long as the story's there, knock on wood, I mean, this movie's going to be good. I'm excited about it.
I mean, I might be one of the only people who like the Fast and Furious movies, and
the first one's good.
I'm an unapologetic Fast and Furious fan. I'm sorry, like they're fun. They're fun
two's
for
horrible.
me. Two sucks, but man, bruh,
right, the series was kind of dead too, though. Like the series was kind of dead until Wan's
What a sandwich.
Like that's no,
it wasn't. No, it was. It came alive in like 5 and 6, and then Juan did 7.
But that's the I remember.
You don't get you don't get to 7 without like you throw the Rock in 5, and then you have Fast 6, and then
that's true.
You know, but Juan's 7 was like, you know, and of course look at the making of that movie. Juan had to go through a lot of stuff to you know, with the death of Paul Walker and all that. You know, maybe we should do a satellite show on Fast and Furious, but but Furious 7's good. You were talking about that one shot that just keeps going and going. Like, it made me think of Furious 7 when they have the big action scene in the 2 buildings and they crash through one building, you know, and you think that's it, but then they do it again. Like, it just keeps going, and it's just insane. Like, I hope that there's a lot of really fun action stuff in Aquaman 2, in addition to the story.
And we got a little bit more of, I want to say, the more serious side, I guess, of Arthur in this.
Yeah.
And his relationship with Mira, obviously, that one scene where they're,
Which I think seems very strong.
But
I feel like the two of them are really going to share the spotlight on this. Like, I really like what I've seen from Amber Heard. I mean, even though her hair's like so red, it's like I don't care. She's really embodied Mira a lot, and coming from someone who really appreciates the character, I'm really proud of what they've done. I was always worried about Amber Heard. She always seemed like to be like the Katie Holmes of this movie, and
but what do you think in Justice League? She was pretty good.
I thought she was really good in Justice League.
Especially when she gets mad, it's like, don't talk about Queen Atlanta that way, and you're just like, you're like, oh wow, she's like really, she stands up to him, and that's Mara's kind of like, I'm keeping you in check, and it's cool that seemed to make sometimes those things get lost in transition from paper to film. And it's fun to see that actually made this transition.
I also get a really strong Tomb Raider vibe. I don't mean like movie Tomb Raider. I'm going like video game Tomb Raider. Yeah. Where like the world is opening up, where you're taking these characters and you're discovering like they're in that desert where they're saying there was water here, and where they're doing that little trick with the water. Then you see Atlantis open up. So I think that's going to be a really cool thing. You can kind of see all these genre type films that Juan probably likes, loves, and even something like a Tomb Raider is in here. Like you said, the swashbuckling Pirates of the Caribbean. So if they pull it off with the story, I think we're going to be in for a real treat.
Yeah. I just hope that the what Justin's hope is that the post-credit scene is Batman riding a dolphin towards Gotham City or something like that.
Did anybody else get like a Tron vibe when they put that thing in there and then the King's projection popped up? It just kind of like turned all blue and everything. It felt very Tron-y to me.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But I think there's it has a lot going for it. If they can sell the fun aspect and the characters, that's and I think that's what, like, for example, the Shazam trailer did really good right off the gate, is like getting you invested in not just the concept but the characters. You just want to go to see them. So
I feel like the Shazam trailer was almost a mini movie in itself, and I feel like we don't need anything more. Like, I honestly think like they could release like one more and that be it. But for Aquaman, especially because it is Aquaman, like Shazam goes in like almost unknown since the TV show's been so long ago. But like Aquaman's constantly on Robot Chicken, so therefore you kind of have to reinforce what he is now.
Yeah. Well, Jason Momoa doesn't have to do much. He just has to be Jason Momoa to see like, oh, well, okay.
But not too Momoa. Like, I don't want so much dude bro.
Well, I'd like
more of a stoic anger guy.
Well, we thought that in Justice League, but really he didn't have too much of the dude bro stuff in Justice League even, I thought. I mean, the extreme stuff was in the trailers, in the Justice League trailers.
I feel like a lot of his dude bro in Justice League was jumping on the car. It was like sound effects, woohoo.
I think
on the parademon.
I even think I heard some of the same sound effects from Justice League in the Aquaman trailers, like when he's jumping out of the plane.
The redheads part where he says redheads.
Yeah, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
But but you don't know until you see the final film. So but that's the thing. I'm excited to see James Wan because he is really good at combining conflicting tones too. He went from Saw to Furious 7, to Conjuring. So he's got a good knack for that stuff, and I think it'll be good.
I also think WB will stay out of his way because he's like their horror guy.
Yeah.
He pretty much has conjured up, like, no pun intended, this entire universe of horror movies for them. And now they've kind of like, okay, can you do us a solid? Can you do something over here? We'll give you monsters. That they're like, we need help on this. So I feel like, and because like he backed away at one point too, like he's got control of this. I really feel like he's got what he wants out there.
And isn't this the first movie to not have Snyder's influence other than him having cast, two of the characters in this?
Is he like an executive
producer? 3, I think Volko's
maybe?
in the movie too, right?
I think he's an EP. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, he might be an executive producer.
I think he's still attached to everything that was on that like original slate. I think those are the movies he's still attached to. But that's it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but the casting will keep that's a legacy that'll keep going on. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Mera. He cast Vulko, but he's not in Justice League. He didn't make it, and we haven't seen him in any trailers for Aquaman.
Which I thought was weird because it's William Dafoe, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe. Yeah, Rick's favorite actor. So
I have like a vinyl Funko Poppy thing of Willem Dafoe from Justice League, even though
Same
it was
here.
a movie.
that's so weird. It's almost like they changed the movie a lot right before it came out.
I can't wait to see what he looks like, or if he even if he's in Aquaman anymore. Like, I feel like
He's
I haven't
in
heard the name.
You guys saw we got another piece of the movie today, right? About Justice League. You guys saw that? Did you see that?
Was
I
that
forget who
that
reported
stuff.
it?
Batman Parademon thing?
No, it was the Wonder Woman extra scene.
Where she was looking
Yeah.
with the
There
torch
was an
at like another, like at a cave wall or a wall that had
yes.
mother box stuff in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, shocker! Justice League. There's another scene. There's another scene that they cut out of Justice League. Newsflash. Yeah.
They're going to keep piecing these things together. We're going to get the full
You know,
movie.
5 years from now, we're going to have 800 scenes that it was going to be 5 hours long. Jeez.
I want to cut of the movie without the tactical suit in it at all. That's what I want.
Then you just have to cut just Batman's face all the time. So it
I
looks
think
like
it's
he's not
me every
wearing
time
it.
I see that thing.
Yeah.
Well, I do
Well-
I do love, like we talked about, the casting that he gave us, because it's been great. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have no arguments
Can't
with
argue with
that.
that.
Yep. Any other final Aquaman thoughts before we move on? I can't
wait to see
I'm
it.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just pumped for it. I went out and bought
The toys.
I went to Target. I bought the Aquaman riding the shark toy. It was $30.
Really? $30. I'm a big
It was
spender.
It was $30. I got an Aquaman. I got an Atlantean shark. I got a water effect, and I got 2 missiles
With
So
frickin'
I think it's
laser
a steal.
beams.
And I'm going to buy a bunch more of them, and I'm going to army build, and I'm going to have an entire Atlantic
Oh
Ocean,
man.
and I'm going to have
Some
Aquaman
algae and
standing
stuff.
on the, yeah.
I just completed the multiverse wave, and I built the trench creature today.
Oh my god.
Where
Love
are
it.
you finding them? I got nothing but peg warmers on my stores.
Walmart.
Walmart in Ohio, dude. Like,
Dude.
right?
Yeah.
I had
They
Frank
should.
from Arizona mail me a Forever Batman that I have to review.
I
for
still
this.
haven't found one. I need to find one.
GameStop is where they're starting to show up now. You can find the Flash.
Well, when
there as
Jeffrey's
well.
Toy Box reopens, I guess.
Yeah, Toys R Us is coming back.
Yeah.
No, it's Jeffrey's Toy Box.
Well, whatever they call it. Toys R Us 2.
TRU 2.0?
Yeah. But I saw the kids Aquaman toy, the regular
The
versions.
$10
too.
ones.
Yeah, and even those look pretty good. And what they had this like system, I forgot what they called it, but it's like water based. Like it reminded me of the old Mr. Freeze stuff. Like you could
Yeah,
like, put them in
change
water,
colors.
and the armor changes colors. Yeah. Yeah. it's
Every
good
Black
stuff.
Manta figure looks amazing, by the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's such a good design. He's like got one of the coolest villain looks in comics. Like
Black Manta
Don't screw
figure
that up.
is so solid. Such a
I-
great figure.
Dude,
yeah.
Black Manta's going to be the surprise this summer. Like, people are like, this guy is crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, it seems like he's not going to be like overly crazily in Aquaman, but I guess what we see of him, we're going to really like. I hope. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like in Aquaman, especially if you're. I need to reread or, bone up on the Jeff Johns run before seeing the movie because
I think
there's
that's,
a lot of
if you buy it in trade, it's the first 5 volumes of New 52 Aquaman.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah,
It's a
I think
bunch.
so.
I have I have a bunch of issues. So, but I guess that's the final word on Aquaman. We're all excited.
I'm pumped.
Yeah. So the next, the second DC Films piece of news is actually really interesting to me. This happened a couple days ago that James Gunn, yes, James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy MCU fame, is officially part of DC Films, and according to THR, the Hollywood Reporter, he has actually closed a deal to write Suicide Squad 2 with an eye to direct, which means that at this stage there is no director deal, but talks could proceed depending on the outcome of the process of him writing the script. And IO9 said that he will have a completely new take on the property. Vague as it is, that's what they said. What do you guys think about that news?
I think I like James Gunn's movies. He wrote Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Slither is one of my favorite horror movies. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's kind of like an alien zombie slug thing. Really crazy. Elizabeth Banks in it, Michael Rooker, really fun stuff. And I like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 for like 99% of it, except for the ending. And Volume 2 was really hit or miss. It was cool.
It stunk.
I didn't really like it though. So like, but everyone, even Francis Ford Coppola directed Godfather 3, so everyone's got his mulligan. But like I'm down with it if he wants to write it, and if he wants to kind of adapt almost like what the Suicide Squad animated movies are. It's like it's similar but different. There's always like 3 characters that are going to die, and you have essentially like what I hope would be like Harley, Boomerang, and Deadshot back with Viola Davis. And they're more of the constants in the series, but you keep adding the other villains, and they interact with other villains, and they hang out in the underworld. And I mean, like that, as long as it could be like a soft reboot, and like they're all different characters, but if Viola Davis is the same, like that's cool. Yeah. Because she's like, she's the one who starts this whole thing. But
yeah, I mean, Suicide Squad lends itself to that already.
I mean, that's the story of the team. Like even in the book, like they kill people all the time. But there's always Harley, Deadshot, Boomerang. It's right. Always the They're like
that's
the main characters. Yeah, which is fine because like Harley sells. Deadshot and Boomerang are cool side villains. The Rogues are great. So like you get in a little interaction with Flash, you can get some Batman in there because of Harley and Deadshot, and it's just there's a lot of things they can do with it. I mean, they even did it in the Suicide Squad movie. You saw Ezra Miller in that.
Yep.
But
right,
it's cool. Like I like his work. And I know he's done some stupid things, but it feels like he's almost atoned for his sins, right? I mean, he did get fired, so
right from Guardians 3,
yeah,
right.
I mean that he was supposed to shepherd in, like he was supposed to be a big part of like Phase 4
of the cosmic
MCU.
part of the universe.
Yeah,
so like
true.
he lost, he lost a big job. That like that's a big job. And, that's the price you pay for stupidity, but like, it happened, but he did it, and I think he's paid his price. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I doubt we'll see Leto, right? Like, I feel like that won't happen. But,
because there's some history.
Because it'll probably be Joaquin Phoenix, so it doesn't matter. I'm joking.
There's so many variables. Like you said, there is the Joaquin Phoenix thing. Not that he would be in it, but there's also some stuff between Leto and James Gunn. I think they had some Twitter beef, and there's also
I did not know that. Okay,
yeah, and then there's also some Affleck Batman. Like. So
who knows? He doesn't even need to be making.
Who knows? Like, but that's the thing. It's like James Gunn probably has carte blanche. Like, make a James. I hope what they're saying is make a James Gunn movie. Because that's what Marvel let him do. Really, like when he made Guardians of the Galaxy, he reinvented them, and now they're kind of.
That's very witty dialogue too. I feel like he lends himself more along the lines to what the humor was in Slither and Dawn of the Dead than really what it was in Guardians. I feel like in Guardians they may have advised him to go over the top, and kind of dumbed it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas those
they
other
can
movies
push it to the edge, but not.
That's a little more edgy, maybe slightly more sophisticated, if that's the right word, but not really as childish. So I feel like again, you let these guys do what they necessarily can do. And they could do really great things, and then like he can do something great if you tell him what to do.
Well, the whole thing that he's writing and we're not sure he's directing. I mean, I think they're just giving it more time for the controversy to settle before they announce him as director. I can't imagine he's going to agree to do this and not direct it.
But sometimes in Hollywood you got to earn your stripes, and it's almost like he's starting from square one again, So especially in like those in that type of industry, just
plus the Road to Suicide Squad 2 has been kind of interesting because pretty quickly after Suicide Squad 1 came out, it was like, well, David Ayer's going to do, Gotham City Sirens probably, but,
Right.
and we didn't know what was going to happen with Suicide Squad 2, and then it was
Then
like,
Mel Gibson was going to direct it.
Right, it's like, Mel Gibson is in talks, and I think he was for like a day or something. They skirted around it, maybe he would do it, and then it was like, no, and then they got Gavin O'Connor, and that he worked on that for months, as the director with the writing team and stuff, and then allegedly the story is that somehow their story for Suicide Squad 2 was like too similar to the Birds of Prey script, and
Didn't they even have a date? Wasn't there a filming date they were talking about for the Suicide Squad 2? I remember them saying like they're gonna fast track it and it's gonna come
I don't
out
know,
quick
but I think Birds of Prey got fast tracked even like quicker, and when they
really like Birds of Prey,
and then when since they're definitely doing Birds of Prey, that I think that kind of put the brakes on Suicide Squad 2 if it was too similar, and so I guess that's when O'Connor left, and that left an opening, and I guess maybe Warner Brothers was already kind of talking to Gunn a little bit, or maybe that was the right opening for him. So we'll see what happens.
They better keep Viola Davis. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't say it's like a done deal that he's definitely gonna, what happens today might not be yesterday, because like we just said, like a year ago or whatever, Mel Gibson was going to direct this thing, so a lot of things could happen. A year ago James Gunn was still directing Guardians 3, so
yeah.
So there's a lot that can happen, but right now it seems like if he writes the script, which it has closed a deal for, and if Warner Brothers likes it, he'll probably end up directing it. I wouldn't see why that wouldn't happen if they're signing James Gunn up. I think they're going to want a James Gunn film, and Suicide Squad already lends itself to the, fringe, edgy, part of the DC universe anyway. So I think it's kind of a good vehicle for him. So we'll see what happens.
Do we know a production date for Birds of Prey?
Yeah, they're supposed to start filming it like early next year. So
Robbie will just do back-to-back Affleck style, right? She'll just go from one to another. She's in it.
Well, if Gunn is just writing Suicide Squad 2 right now, that doesn't mean like there's no date attached to it at this point. So anything that they had before is out the window if he's just writing it. So who knows?
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway from it that he made me know who a raccoon, a tree, a green girl, and a guy that was a Star Lord. Like, I remember going to the movie theater and my wife going, "So who is this?" Guardians of the Galaxy. I said, "I have no friggin' idea." I said, "It's got a talking raccoon." I said, "You know as much as I do right now." So, and coming out of that, I knew who all those characters were. I was excited about it. I'm like, oh, it's this James Gunn guy. Oh, I know. I like his work. So if he can get me invested in a talking raccoon and it's believable and it looks great on film, then I'm pumped for what he's going to do with already existing
characters you already like
I already know. Yeah. So it doesn't
and
give
whoever
me pause
if
to
he
be
does direct it, like whoever he casts, like he does cast good. He does cast talent really well. You know, like I didn't know Dave Bautista was that good of an actor until Guardians of the Galaxy. For what he did, like I thought he was really good at it. Now everyone wants him as Bane. You know?
Yeah. There's a part of me that's like, I think he just wrote Dave Bautista to sound like Dave Bautista. You know, I don't think I would have to see him in something else where he's not in makeup and.
You not seen Blade Runner 2049?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen the original?
I made it through 10 minutes of the movie and fell asleep. So no.
Rob, come on.
Blade Runner's amazing.
It's amazingly boring.
But you can see why someone might fall asleep in the first 10 minutes, right?
No.
Yeah,
it's kind of slow moving.
It's pretty slow.
Really?
I was.
Well,
they both are,
in the
but
beginning of the movie.
Not to take it on a tangent, I'm like, I loved Harrison Ford. This is awesome. I'm like, yeah, I need to find something else to watch. So I just shut it off.
Yeah, you got it. Well, you
so
do.
Bad for you.
I'll have to make my way through
Satellite show.
Yeah.
Well, really quickly, are there any other villains you would want to see in the Suicide Squad sequel?
I want to see Killer Croc back. I mean, he was okay in the first one, but he's such a cool character. I think
He was better in the Lego Batman movie.
Who would you want?
To do something.
Who would you want as fodder? Like, all right, I want to see this character on screen.
Crazy Quilt.
And just get killed?
Yeah, just get
Condiment
killed.
King.
Yeah.
Condiment King.
Something like King. I like to see King Shark. something.
I could go without a DCU without King Shark. Yeah, sure.
Well, he's on the Flash,
Yeah.
right?
Like, I'm trying to watch. I remember Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, animated movie that came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
They, like, opened it up in such a cool way, and they killed, like, such minor character. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, like, I forget who they were, but, like, you almost gotta go, like, in the beginning, you gotta go, like, C-listers, like,
Yeah. Your Kite Mans, your, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Why not do Nemesis?
Oh, jeez, who would I want? It's like, who do you want to die? I was like, Jason Todd. I mean, I'm trying to think here. Like, I don't want the Top to die. I love him so much, even though Ryan won't understand it.
The Eraser.
Sure. The Wrath. What's his name? Purple Batman?
Purple. That's the Wrath.
The Wrath.
Yeah, he can go. I wouldn't mind him seeing him go.
He would kind of fit on the Suicide Squad, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe KG Beast joins again. That'd be funny.
He's in the DCEU, though.
Well, the Anatolia is not KG Beast. He's not the Beast yet.
Yeah.
Remember? Like, we don't know. Like, I think Affleck shot off his arm. Yeah, it's hard to think of who you want to get rid of.
Yeah, because I don't really care about that. I just I like, I like the concept, and I want to see Harley Quinn back, and Will Smith is pretty good as Deadshot, and I have a soft spot for Killer Croc, and Captain Boomerang was surprisingly
Courtney,
good.
yeah.
He was surprisingly good. So I mean that part. I mean, again, the cast of Suicide Squad was like the best part of that movie.
Yeah,
and that was well done. So, but if you push comes to shove, you got to keep Viola Davis because she's the glue that keeps it together. And
I'd like them to bring back David Harbour too, just as a little cameo. I love his voice.
Was he in it?
Yeah, he played the.
You don't notice him because he doesn't have the mustache from Stranger Things.
What is he? He played one of the.
He's at
military.
like the round table.
Yeah, he played one of the officers.
in the like meeting room with the Enchantress. Yeah.
Yeah, they can get rid of her. No, don't bring her back. She sucks.
She's dead.
No,
she came back.
She's alive.
Not if it's a reboot.
When did she? I thought she killed her.
No,
but June Moon is still around.
Right.
Oh, June is
Yeah.
I think they killed her in the comics recently too. I think Croc was like in love with her.
Well, I think you might be right.
Well, they killed Captain Boomerang too, and they bring him back. Like they do that kind of crap.
Well, I got really mad when they killed Boomer. I was like, "Are you serious?"
They brought him back though.
I know what I'm trying. I hate killing
comics.
people and bring them back.
It's Suicide Squad. You were just talking. I mean,
no, but now I'm thinking about Nightwing. I'm like, God,
Don't go there.
Yeah. KGB shot Nightwing and made a Nightwing-shaped hole in his head. So that's in the comics, guys.
Yeah.
Is it too? Can we spoil Heroes in Crisis 2? There's another one in there. I was really pissed off about.
We can. Like, if you haven't read Heroes of Crisis, like, turn back now. But that's Tom King's new
single
miniseries.
thing that brought fans back together. Rebirth issue 1. You have this wonderful character connecting all these threads, bringing all these people together. And what happens to this character in Heroes in Crisis? Pete?
He gets killed on like a single panel, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's already dead when we see him.
Yeah. Why not?
Right.
Why not kill Barry Allen?
No, we already did that. But here's the thing. It's like, I even talked to Tom King today. I was like, on Twitter, I was like, look, I appreciate a good story. I'm waiting to see how it ends. I'm not happy about what you did, but I'm going to give you a chance. And he was like really cool about it. He's like, thanks for the patience, man. I appreciate that. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, like, it's cool. I'm not going to kill you yet. For now. But hold on here, because then later on, I'm going to call Anthony, and we're going to come over your house with a couple of wrenches. All right? But, like, I'm willing to wait it out, but I'm not too happy about it. But I'm not going to kill you either.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, because, I read it, and it's a pretty heavy book, and what I didn't like is the way it was marketed. It was marketed about, like, who's gonna die in the issue, like really playing into the comic book angle of who's gonna die in this, and the book really isn't about that. like DC, we'll get into this later, but in the DC Universe app, they have DC Daily, and which is like their daily program that goes over the DC news, and they have good interviews with creators and stuff. And they had, in one of the episodes when Heroes in Crisis 1 came out, they had an interview with Tom King, and he's talking about his ideas behind the book and talking about post-traumatic stress disorder and gun control and the politics and stuff like that. And there's a lot of thought that's going into this book and stuff like that. To hear him talk about how passionate he is about this particular story, I was like, well, the marketing really undersold everything that he just said, because the marketing was all like, we're going to kill somebody, you have to read to find out. And it's really like, it's more of a introspective, like cerebral kind of story, and I think that undersold it to me. So.
And didn't they like kill everybody they teased anyway? So it's not like guess which one. It's like all of them.
They tease people that aren't even in the issue too. Like they tease Tim Drake, and Tim Drake's not in the issue.
I think there's a way you can tell stories without having. We're going to kill characters. How can we build a story about killing characters? Why not take it from the point of view of like post-traumatic stress? Like, these heroes see all these things all the time, and how are they dealing with it? And you don't have to kill a single character. You can see how they're interacting with one another, and how maybe somebody is having a mental breakdown.
Like identity crisis.
Yeah, something like that.
That's the perfect example.
I mean, and that's the kind of closest analog to Heroes in Crisis would be identity crisis. It's not like a crisis of infinite Earths. It's a crisis of, spirit and, what's happening. I was wondering, like, if they killed Wally, right?
Yes.
So what, is he still in Titans? Like, this happens in the future, or is he gone from Titans too?
He's gone from Titans. He was
Wally's kind of been like, Wally had like a weird heart thing for a while, so we weren't even sure he was going to be the Flash. Like Titans has been very interesting. I read it a lot. I read that book for Nightwing and Wally, ironically, and now it's like, well, now why do I read this book? What are you doing over there? But like Wally had like a weird heart thing going on, and they weren't even sure. And then this
they had They had Flash War too. Did that affect?
Right?
He was in Flash War a lot. He was probably the main reason I feel of Flash War. Like he was the reason why Flash War happened to kind of center around him.
He broke the source wall.
Yeah. So Wally's actually been doing some stuff in the DCU, and it's just kind of interesting how it's been 2 years of it. Yeah. Right? Am I right? 2 years of Rebirth.
Well, yeah, it was 2.5.
2.5.
We're
like
approaching
it's just
3.
it's interesting because I felt like a lot of people were very vocal and like, okay, well, where's Redhead Wally? Like I feel like it was a thing. Like no one wanted to get rid of the other Wally. They just wanted they kind of wanted everybody wanted everything they wanted. They wanted everything. So they wanted both Wallies. They wanted Barry back and they wanted Iris. And at one point we got that, and it was really cool. And Williamson, I believe it's Williamson, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
He's been doing some interesting things in Flash. It's not as good as Manipal, but like it's interesting and I like it. So, it's been very creative. But now it's just kind of like, well, did he know this was going on? Did he just do all this crazy Wally stuff because he knew he had a time limit?
I think a lot of this is they brought all these characters back, and Wally's a good example of, well, what are we doing with Wally now that we got him back? Well, we've got him in Titans. And then he's kind of limping around in Titans. Then he's in the Flash War. Like he never.
Same with Tim
landed.
Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Perfect example. Tim's kind of just in this limbo, and until New York Comic Con hit, I was like, oh, thank God, finally they're doing something with the character. But I think like we've got all these legacy characters, or even just characters that they create and go, well, like Duke, what the hell are we doing with this guy?
Yeah,
he's in The Outsiders.
Yeah, but look how long it's taken to do anything.
Well,
yeah. Wally's suit is pretty great. It's a pretty good combination of both versions of his flashes and
I like that too. I thought that was nice.
it was like, oh wow, you guys really did this. Because at one point, when Barry came back, Wally had like a darker red suit, but it was the same exact thing. Like they looked exactly this, but he had white eyes, but you could see Barry's eyes. Like there were slight differences, but he looked like the Flash still. Like this, he's kind of like, oh, this is what grown-up kid Flash looks like. I like this, And
it was cool.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his suit. They kind of did him right until they didn't. Hashtag until it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Well, Suicide Squad. So, was there anything else we wanted to say about the James Gunn stuff? I mean, it's interesting. I'm intrigued. I
wait and see.
I'm waiting to see. I'm not even putting my eggs in the basket of like, oh, he's definitely going to direct it. I can't wait to see what he does and like all this. Like, it's confirmed that he has a deal to write the script, and that is what's happened so far. And I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the movies he's written for the most part. So like, I know he can do this, and I'm interested to see what he will do with this.
I mean, I was the minority. I liked the first one, so I'm one of the few that
Suicide Squad.
I dug it.
Really enjoyed the first Suicide Squad movie.
It was okay.
Except for the last third.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there.
Did you watch the extended cut?
It's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
More Leto.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little better.
It's a little better. It's not as much better as BVS is. I mean, both cuts don't fundamentally change the movies, but I would say that BVS makes it more better than Suicide Squad, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree. I mean, not to rehash this again, but I wish they would have kept in the Joker stuff, even though it was a little much.
Yeah, if you read the script, if you read the novel, the Suicide Squad novel, there's a lot more like hints at how hardcore the Joker would have been if they would have kept their original, because they basically changed their entire, relationship in Suicide Squad. So, I was entertained by it, but it's still my least favorite. I still have yet to open my 4K Blu-ray Steelbook. It's still sealed. I just haven't watched it. But
I watch it on YouTube. I watch scenes on YouTube.
You're doing the Rick Shoe method.
I have a digital copy of it that I got.
I got an early digital copy because they released it a month early, and then I got the Steelbook for posterity and still haven't opened it.
Dude,
no, not to put myself on blast, but I didn't get it in the most upstanding of ways, so I don't. I don't want to put that. Eric. I guess I just did put that out there. So yeah, but
cut that.
I got it really because I wanted to cut it up myself. So I started playing around with it. And it was a screener that I found, so I
make a Holzmann cut. Release the Holzmann cut.
I should.
I'm interested in that. I want to see Justin's cut of BVS because he made a cut of BVS for his kids, so he could actually show his kids BVS.
That's right. He told us that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said it. He said it's like 30 minutes long or something like that, and he cuts out all of like the gratuitous violence and like boring stuff, and just to get to the fight.
Well, you guys have seen the one with all the Justice League stuff taken out, right? Have you seen that?
Yes.
That clip?
No.
Yeah,
no,
that was better.
Couldn't force myself, but and of course there's
I do hate that email scene.
It's awful, but there's also Eric Peterson, on Twitter at Greencapped. His I've talked about this before. His Batman and Robin deassified cut. it's pretty good. It's good. It's like 45. It's like 45 minutes long, and they cut out like all of the camp. It's pretty interesting. It's fun. Huh. It's worth watching if you can find that next to. You can do a double feature with that and the Red Book edition of Batman Forever.
I'm still waiting for my Schumacher cut of Batman Forever.
I know. I wish they'd do that, but you know what? Next year, and this is a lot of Batman milestones coming up next year. It's the 80th anniversary of Batman. We have 30th anniversary of Batman '89.
Yeah,
and
Detective. Wow,
and Detective 1000 is going to come out too. So there's a lot of fun Batman milestones. I feel like I just have a hunch that we're going to see 4K Batman '89 next year. Because this year we're getting 4K.
Years? God, I feel old.
Yeah.
I feel like 25 was just like yesterday.
Yeah.
Freshman in high school, I saw that.
I mean, like this year we're getting. Is it Superman the movie's 40th anniversary this year?
No, 78. So yeah,
it's part of the Fathom event,
right?
Yeah, so they're having Fathom events for it, and there's a 4K Blu-ray of Superman the movie this year. So since they're doing that for Superman, I hope that next year we'll get some 4K Burton and maybe Schumacher movies. Fingers crossed for that.
Great.
I mean, that's always an opportunity for them to do more cuts of things. So
especially with the 80th, anniversary.
Batman. There's no way they're not going to milk that for all it's worth, and we're all gonna be sucked in. I hope.
It's like that Batman on Film podcast. You're going to spend a lot of money buying merch.
Please subscribe to us on Patreon.com. So,
Pete, you're going through the gamut of your voices tonight, aren't you?
I am exploring the contents of my toolbox.
Yeah, the deeper we get into the BOF on After Dark shows, the worse the voices get.
Please give us money for the 4K Blu-ray.
Is that supposed to be Chris Walken?
Yeah, that's my bad Walken. Sorry.
Oh, I got it. So.
Okay, cool.
It's not bad.
Goody.
We should just do a Batman Returns commentary every year or something.
I think I did one. Did I do one with Justin? Who did I do?
You did one with me and Justin.
Yes,
and Rick.
yes,
yes.
I listened
And
to
Chris
that.
Clow, too, I believe, was on that.
I'd love to do it. I could talk about that duck all day.
I love the duck. Get in the duck. Hashtag get in the duck.
I love saying that to people. They're like, what? Like,
I got to
just
go
get in
with
the car.
Justin. Hashtag corn dog.
Stupid corn dog. His name is
Hashtag
Ricky
I played the
Friedberg.
Stinking City like a heart from hell.
DeVito's tremendous. I don't care what anybody says. He's
He's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love Batman Returns.
No.
You know.
That is the Batman movie I hated the most out of the 4. But every time I watch it, it gets better and better and better. I mean, that.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
That's
That
like a
scared the
fine.
crap out of me as a kid, but I love it.
Yeah,
I love it now.
That was me.
Yeah.
I just like the Pfeiffer Keaton stuff. Everything else you could throw
Eat
out.
floor, high fiber.
Well, no, that line you could throw out too.
One of my favorite Penguin lines in that movie was DeVito goes, lawn dart.
I love that line. I'd like to show her my French flipper
no,
trick.
no.
Oh, it's
Oh
DeVito's
man, that. And I mean, Christopher Walken. I just like him. So
Yeah. I can watch him in anything.
yeah.
Yawn.
Daniel Waters.
Yeah. Thanks, Daniel Waters. But, all right. Now, we're like 45 minutes into this, and I think we're ready to get into our main topic.
Yes.
So, we're going to talk about Titans, the DC Universe original series. It came out today when we're recording this on Friday the 13th. No, it's now Saturday the 13th. It came out on
Yes.
Friday the just to talk about how late it is. But yeah, it came out on Friday the 12th, and just the first episode. I think there's going to be, 12 or 13 episodes total.
I believe so.
This thing. If you want to watch it, of course, you have to get the DC Universe app. Later on, if you're out of the U.S., I believe it's going to end up being on Netflix.
Netflix, yep.
But you have to wait until that
Or
happens.
you could go to the premiere with me and Eric.
That's right. You could have done that.
Or you could have done that.
Could have flown to New York. We would have hung out with you guys. Would have had a good time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's one reason why I really wanted you guys on this show, is that Eric and Pete represented BOF at the New York Comic-Con last weekend, and they got to go to the premiere and do all kinds of fun stuff. So tell us about that.
We did.
Well, it was really cool. We went to the official Titans cocktail party, and there were various people there: Frank Miller, Rob Layfield, James Tynan IV, who
Dan
is
Didio.
Dan is that how do you pronounce his last name?
Didio.
Didio was there.
P. Didio.
Mr. Williamson, who wrote The Flash, who was writing The Flash, he was there as well. And there, Jason Fabuk, how do you say his last name?
Yeah.
Fabok.
Yeah.
He was there as well. And
he
there
was
it was really cool. Of course, like, I was almost too starstruck to talk to anybody except for James, just because the Drakes introduced me to him. Those fine individuals.
And you are welcome.
And thank you, sir. And so it was cool to be there and just kind of putting faces to names that you didn't know, and then just interacting with other people, and it was a cool experience at the cocktail party. And I mean, Eric got there before me, so I don't know what else he did.
Well,
He
Eric got
caused even more mischief.
to meet Jim Lee. How's that?
Yes,
right.
I did. I got to meet Jim Lee.
I've got a few
That
words.
was the highlight of the Comic-Con experience for me. I mean, that was awesome.
Eric was on one side with Jim Lee. I was on the other side with Marv Wolfman.
Yeah.
So we were kind of branching out, and that
Yeah.
was fun. And Marv actually seemed pretty happy. I don't know if he was just putting on smiles, but
Is he usually not happy?
I've seen Marv at cons, and he always seems like he's in a rush. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, this is a VIP party, right? So you know.
Yes.
yeah, well,
it
clearly
was.
because me and Eric got invited.
Right. Yeah, sure.
But when we were there, it got a lot of applause, a lot of cheers. A lot of people liked what they saw, including myself. I was a big fan of the show, and I kind of am one of the few who kind of stands tall and while enjoying the show. But
So you guys got to see 2 episodes.
We
yeah.
did.
The first 2 episodes.
We also got to see before they showed the Titans, we got to see the preview for Doom Patrol. That's coming out.
Brendan Fraser was there, who plays.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Robot
got to
Man.
see, that's when they did that too? You got to
Yes.
see
Yeah.
Did you also get to see Kaylee Cuoco?
Yes, we did.
She was there as well. She came out after they previewed the clip of Harley Quinn,
Yes.
which looks more Deadpool than Deadpool, and it looks really good.
It's actually going to happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That was really clever writing.
Yeah, they did a good job. I am still not totally happy it's not Tara Strong. I'll say that.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is like it's what I'm kind of surprised and intrigued about is that it to me like her Harley voice, it does not sound like Kaylee Cuoco, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know,
but it doesn't sound like Harley to me.
But it doesn't
either.
sound like Harley. Yeah,
I feel like
think
I'm
you'll
gonna have to
to
get used to it.
You'll have to see more of it for it to, maybe hopefully resonate. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
But that was a little. That's my only gripe. I got a little bit of a Daria vibe from the show, but for the interaction of Ivy and Harley. That's whereas I can't remember because I haven't watched the show forever. I've watched it on the MTV app a few times. But Daria's friend who had the short hair and the boots. That seems to be what Ivy is, and Harley's more like
Daria satellite show.
Yeah,
and Harley was more of a eccentric Daria who almost got to be like kept in check. But like their short interaction, that's what I got from that. Just me personally, being the Daria fan that I am.
Are you?
I do like Daria. I watch Daria. Yeah.
How old were you when Daria came out?
I was a kid. I watched a lot of TV I wasn't supposed to.
Well, that explains it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at Titans. So
yeah. So Titans. I mean, there was obviously a lot of talking about it and beforehand. Like Jeff Johns was up there talking about it and how it came to be and whatever. And then they finally released, or they started the show, and then they tell you like, oh, you thought you were only seeing one episode. No, we're going to show you the first two. So that was cool. We got to see more than the premiere episode or the pilot. And I will say, after the trailer came out, I was not into it at all.
The first trailer.
Yes.
Yeah, I hated that first trailer.
Yeah,
I think we all did.
I thought it looked cheap. It looked bad. The tone was awful, and the F Batman line I was just like, what? Like really? Like okay.
Yeah. Out of context.
I didn't mind that in context.
Right.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Right.
But that first trailer was atrocious.
Yeah, I had no interest in it, and I'm not even gonna lie. If we didn't get the invites to go to this, I probably wouldn't have watched it. So I'm not even gonna lie about that part. If
well, that you have to shell out the money for it too.
Yeah. So
wait, do you not have the app yet?
I don't
have it yet. No.
I can wait 2 weeks. I've already seen 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, so
yes.
I'm waiting until it falls on payday week, so then I'm just gonna splurge. That'll be my treat.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, this is bad. I don't know if you guys ever did. I remember you guys were talking about doing. I mean, we can edit this part out, but I remember you guys talking about
make me edit stuff. Man.
Damn, sorry.
Well, now I have to because there's cans.
Or you guys talking about doing a show about the DC Universe app? Did you guys ever touch on that?
No.
Okay.
This is that show, kind of.
Okay.
Way to
This
go,
is
Eric.
the show.
Sorry, my fault. You gotta
This
edit it
is, and we're not going to change it.
out. Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right. Well,
I got what Rob was
all
saying.
right. So,
No, I mean that's what we wanted to do a show after when Titans came out. You know, that's
Okay.
basically. And since you guys don't have the app, it's kind of hard to do a show about the app.
right. Okay. Well, I probably will get it now. I mean, that's how much I liked.
I will most likely get it now
Titans.
because I do enjoy the first 2 episodes of the show.
Yeah, they were very good. I mean,
Because otherwise, I'm just waiting for the Harley show. To be honest, it's like if I didn't like Titans, I'm probably just holding off until Harley. Like I'm going to give them the money. It's just they've got to earn it. You know.
Right.
right. But no, like the energy was really good in the theater when the highlights of the show people were into. Like the vibe I got from just being there watching it was that everyone felt the same. Now, like you guys were saying before when we were talking, that sometimes the energy of just being the premiere kind of makes you feel a little bit tilt your opinion a little bit one way or another. But I was stunned. I liked it as much as I did. It's edgy, yes. Maybe too edgy, some people might say. I was fine with it. I like when you take a property and you kind of play with it and do different things with it. I'm not married to it has to be a faithful interpretation. No, this is something different. They're trying. Go for it. Robin worked for me. I thought that the Raven character was good. That girl is only Tegan Croft. She's only 14 years old, man, and she killed it. Like, she was great.
I thought she was much better in the 2 episodes than she was in anything they teased in the trailers.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
especially like special effects wise, and that goes for Starfire as well. Once you
yeah.
see them, like they're them. Like that's Raven. That's the daughter of Trigon. You know, like and Starfire is the same way. She's orange with green eyes. That's Starfire.
Yeah, and Beast Boy, like, you only get a quick view, but I thought each character got their chance to shine, and it drew me in. Like, I wanted to learn. I want to know more about them now. I want to know more, even though I know some about them already from what I know. But they're obviously telling you we're going a different direction. So I want to see how they do this version of it and how they go about it. And I think that's what any pilot episode. That's what it has to do. And for me, that's what that worked.
While we were sitting there waiting for the show to start, I think it was after we watched the episodes, they had a panel and they had Johns and Akiva Goldsman on the panel. And the two of them said, we've been trying to do this for 7 years and we couldn't figure out a tone for the show. So it's interesting that they picked this tone, which is, I feel like it's drastically different than anything Teen Titans we've seen. Cause I do feel like they are trying to distance themselves. Cause I feel like you say Teen Titans, you're thinking of the cartoon now.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess that's why it's called Titans. And that's why it's a little dark and edgy.
Well, what's interesting is I've started to see this pattern of Titans and Teen Titans actually being a quite malleable property, because the original Teen Titans in the 60s, of course, are like your standard, kid sidekicks coming together or whatever. But of course, what really popularized the Titans was the Wolfman and Perez run, in the 80s. And that series is probably, it's of its time and stuff like that, but it's probably more adult and edgy than people give it credit for or remember. You know what I mean?
It's definitely heavier than you think it is.
It's a lot heavier than you think it is, exactly. And then after that, you get, some more of the... You've got like the Teen Titans, animated series, which had a pretty good balanced tone, I would say. Like not as serious as Batman the Animated Series, but appropriately for its audience. And then of course we have Teen Titans Go, which is just insane and crazy and kiddie and stuff. But
Young Justice is almost a Teen Titans cartoon.
And Young Justice is kind of like that too. It's closer to in tone, I would say, like Justice League Unlimited or something like that.
Well, and also don't forget Jeff Johns' Teen Titans run that was also very influential.
Yes.
That comic book too. That's kind of a good middle ground between all of it.
I own the omnibus to that. It's gigantic.
Yeah, and there's good stuff in there. So there's a lot of Titans lore and content and history that kind of goes into this. So it's not too crazy that they picked this tone, but it's. But to me, at first I was like, well, why would they go this dark for their flagship show on an app that's already niche and stuff like that? But I guess that's part of the appeal. What they hope is the appeal is that people that are buying this niche thing are going to want to watch a show that's they feel is tailored towards them. I don't think the tone that they picked is going to work for everybody, clearly.
Right.
But it's in my experience watching this first episode, the tone, it needs work, but I get what they're going for. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. A lot of it is what pilot of any show is like this? Entirely representative of the show, at the end of the season or a season later or two seasons later. There are some perfect, quote, perfect, great pilots. Like the pilot of Lost is amazing and that kind of stuff. But in general, if you have a show that's your favorite show, if you go back and watch the pilot, it's pretty rocky, right?
Yeah.
It's not a perfect thing. So
I almost see this playing out as almost like Party of Five with superheroes.
That's actually a pretty good.
That's not
analogy, Pete. I'm thinking
that's
of
what the Titans are. They are a party of five. That's great.
But I'm also thinking of.
Shout out to Nev Campbell.
Because
I love Nev.
I'm also thinking because I saw episode 2, right? So I know Pete and I have a little bit more of an insight on where they're going.
Yeah, I said earlier, it's blended all into one for me right now.
Yeah, so I guess at this point we'll just say I guess at this point we'll just say spoilers. I think we haven't really spoiled much yet, but I think we will now. Like if you
might
haven't
just
seen
accidentally.
it, if you haven't seen the episode and you don't want to be spoiled, get the app. Pay $10 for a month or whatever. Like, me and Rob got the year thing, but
right, give it a try.
Give it a try. Watch the episode, or maybe wait a couple weeks, I guess. Like if you want multiple episodes, or read, listen to us and read the reviews on BOF. Eric and Pete have pretty good reviews on BOF proper, so read those. And but overall, I would say watch it. It's worth a shot. So
They also have Batman the Animated Series remastered in HD. So
the first 2 seasons.
If I can give you a little incentive, there it is.
Yeah. The first 2 seasons.
Nice.
It's good. So spoilers. Continue.
I'm trying to think. You guys are the Drakes. What did you think of Dick Grayson? Let's just start there. Like,
Rob loves everything, but I'm going to say that okay. So when I watched the trailer, the first trailer, and there was the whole F Batman line, and I was like, what are they doing? They're trying to be too edgy and look at how awesome and dark I am and stuff like that. And really, in context, and I made a big stink of it on Twitter, of course, because it was just crazy to me.
Greatest meme ever.
I did make that awesome meme of Lego Robin saying F Batman, which I still am pretty fond of. But in the show, in the episode, in context, it was interesting to me because he doesn't say it to the criminals. He says it afterwards, after he's beaten everybody, which is more like
he says it to himself.
He says it to himself. It's more of an internal thing. So that was actually like, oh, well, there's like a complex thing in the character. Because in the trailer, they make it sound like he just comes in and jumps up, and instead of saying I'm Robin, he's like F Batman. Where's Batman?
Right.
F Batman.
Right.
And that's what pissed me off. So
yeah. Out of context, I don't think it works as well.
Yeah. Right. And so it's just in general, I liked this Robin. I thought it was interesting. They're clearly showing like this is a transition, not just for Robin, but for like the whole team of the Titans. Like they're not the Titans yet, and they probably, and I think they've said that they won't be the Titans until the final episode of the season. So this is like their origin story and stuff, and this is the path of Dick Grayson between Robin and Nightwing. And
right,
I think that's pretty cool. They've got him as a cop in Detroit. I think that's where they are, right, in Detroit.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And seeing in the comics, one of the things I like about Nightwing is when he's a cop in Bloodhaven and stuff like that. So they had some elements there that are already present, and I like seeing that kind of.
That's the Dixon run of Nightwing, correct?
Yes, that's where all that starts. And so I enjoyed seeing Dick Grayson try to like be his own man, but also he wants to be Robin. He's clearly got a lot of issues he's trying to work out.
It was cool how they alluded to Batman without actually saying Batman. Like he would talk about his former partner.
What's interesting is like, like they mentioned Batman and the Joker and Gotham gets a name drop and stuff like that. And
right.
But the one thing that kind of bothered me though was like Dick Grayson's partner. Like at the end, she's like, "Well, you had a partner in Gotham PD, and what happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, I liked him, and then I was going to be too much like." I mean, he's basically talking about Batman, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, well, all this person has to do is like look up Gotham PD and be like, he didn't have a partner at the Gotham PD. Like, if she even does an ounce of detective work on him, she's gonna know like who are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of like storytelling wise, it flowed well. But then when you start to think about it too much, it kind of like breaks down. Like there's some holes there, but I like the performance and stuff. So go ahead, Rob.
No, I would say on that, if Batman's always one step ahead, Dick would be one step ahead. You would make up a fake partner, and if anybody did any background check, you would dot your I's and cover your T's. So in that I'm throwing that out there. It was really, and I shouldn't say really hard. It's one of those where I look at it and go, my God, that's Tim Drake on screen. That's Tim Drake. There's the bow staff. There's the ninja boots. There's the R shuriken, which having Jeff Johns be part of this, I go, all right, you're not going to do the pixie boots and all that stuff. It's
right.
We've talked about it on our show. That's Tim's costume is a classic costume, and it's kind of been given to all the Robins now in some variation.
Tim gives everything, and he gets nothing.
Yes, but that I know Rick had written a piece a while back of like, can Robin work on film? I was watching this going, yeah, Robin definitely does. And I had a grin on my face the entire time. Like I'm seeing Robin, the smoke pellets came out and I was like, oh, the Robin's using smoke pellets, the R shurikens go flying off and, has the bow staff and he's flipping criminals around.
Fight choreography was amazing.
Yeah, the choreography was excellent. So
he clearly watched The Punisher on Netflix.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
There's a couple, and he does like this one move. Like
I wrote that in my
two times
review.
in a row. 2 times in a row. Did you?
Yeah, I was like, this is way more in line with the Punisher than it does it. I think it compared it to like the Greg Berlanti, because Berlanti's involved. I think to the CW stuff. Like this is definitely way more Punisher.
Well, if you're comparing it to CW stuff, the closest one would be Arrow. At least the earlier few seasons of Arrow.
Yeah.
When it was
Right.
It was just really, really like.
Yeah, not Bilbao, but
Yeah, no.
that's a satellite show for another day.
But, one thing I can look at, I think it was after in the comics, Dick Grayson gets shot by the Joker, Batman 408, I believe, where Bruce fires Dick and that whole thing. So he's going off on his own. In this, I can kind of see the Dick Grayson that is trying to piece his life back together. Can he be Robin? Can he be his own man? And he just has so much of this. Programming's the wrong word. I can't think of the word I want to use, but this tutelage under Batman, like this is how you operate. He doesn't want to operate like that anymore. But once he's in combat, you can tell as he's just pummeling that guy. The one scene where he puts the bow staff through, pulls the guy's face out the window, jams it down on the window, and just slides the guy's face across.
Yeah, that was
The glass, and my wife was watching going, oh my God. And then he ripped him to the floor and just starts pummeling him. I'm like, okay, right there, that is Batman. And then the F Batman line comes shortly thereafter that of, I almost took that like, damn it, I'm doing it again. And then he was quick to get out of there.
Yeah. I got vibes of like Batman Year 3 in that like, he's losing it and he realizes it, but he's kind of like not really able to.
Yeah, he's just in that.
They're all broken.
Yeah.
They're all broken.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. I think. Well, these are. It's a character study. Like the show is going to be a character study for all these broken people. So I think you're gonna like they're setting that up now. Okay, Robin was with Batman. Now he's not. Where's he going? And you have the thing with Raven. She has these powers and she's trying to find out, where am I going with this? The first episode, you see a little bit, I guess, of Starfire and a little bit of Beast Boy. The Starfire stuff I thought was pretty good. I'm really interested now to see where they're going to go with her. Because like I said, for me, this summer, I covered the Teen Titans Go movie as well. So to go from that now to this,
It is the
it's like-
awesome to whatever this was.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, like you're it's a real different take. But yeah, like I said, the character stuff is what makes a show, and that's where I think this show is going to be really, really strong.
And I honestly think we haven't even. Well, you guys haven't because we saw the first 2 episodes.
Right.
Episode 2, Dove steals the episode. Like she's
Yes.
just very captivating, and she's very warm, and she's understanding, and you're like, oh wow, and like. Hawk has his moments. He's funny, and so I think they kind of stole the episode too, which I think you guys should look forward to.
His introduction scene. I mean, I don't want to give it away. I really don't want to spoil it for you guys, but just when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's really, really edgy.
Yeah,
that was the thing in the casting. Going, oh man, they're putting Hawk and Dove in this. I have zero interest in those 2 characters ever. Anytime they appeared in a book, I was just like, ugh, Hawk and Dove. Horrible characters.
It is Minka Kelly, though.
But yeah, but then
I do like the costumes.
Seeing the little bit in the trailer that we've kind of seen of the 2 characters and seeing those costumes move and they weren't shying away like, okay, we're going to do a muted color. Like they're leaning into the red and white and blue and white and it's got the fringes on the cape. And I was like, okay, this show might make me pay a little bit more attention to Hawk and Dove, who I've always kind of written off as like, why the heck do you like, of all the Titans characters, why pick Hawk and Dove? I think this might turn me around.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
That's like a Jeff Johns thing too. It's like he likes to take these characters like that and be like, "This is why they're like Stargirl."
Yeah.
Like I'm right now. I'm like, why are they making a Stargirl show for DC Universe? Who's beating down the doors for a Stargirl show? But I'm sure maybe I'll be proven wrong.
Right.
Yeah, as Pete was saying, I mean, the name of episode 2 is Hawk and Dove. That's the title of the episode. So
right.
that kind of gives that's what you're going to be who you're going to be learning about. Right. And like they go into their relationship with Dick a little bit, and they talk about and you get to see their dynamic. That episode to me was a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah,
because it wasn't trying to establish all the Titans characters. Like it was pretty much focused on them.
There's a lot more Starfire in that one as well.
Yeah.
And there's a really great Robin action scene in that one that's better than the one in the alley in the first.
Oh, yeah,
in my opinion, that I really enjoyed. But it also I looked at Eric and I'm like, this is like BVS Warehouse. Like it's that type of scene.
That's high praise.
Well, just like in terms of content and context, like what he does is very similar to that. It's very good though. Like I think it's a good scene.
It's not obviously the same,
but like you just see it because it's dark and it's this and it's very violent and it reminds you of that.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't remind me how much better that is, then yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said in my review, I'm really excited to see how other people take this, because when the trailer was I don't know anyone who liked it. So the fact that I did almost a complete 180 on
Jordan
it.
Jordan Valdez did. He loved everything.
We love you, Jordan.
We love you, Jordan.
We love you, man.
Hashtag Batcat. But that was definitely that was a topic when we got into the theater, like before the movie was out. Like,
because everybody hated the trailer.
Everyone was like, "So, what do you think of the trailer?" And I was like, "I don't like the trailer."
Yeah.
No one's saying anything positive about it.
Well, he asked that to the theater.
What people were asking, there were other people there. There were fans. There were other like websites and stuff. Like it wasn't like Jim Lee was like, "This trailer isn't any good." It was just everyone else. And then you got people like then you met a couple people who've seen screeners and stuff like that, and they're like, "It's much better. You'll like this. You'll like this. You'll like this." And I'm like, "Okay,
okay."
Right. I mean, obviously it's DC. They want to sell the show, but you can tell when you ask someone how they feel, who's has a more hands-on. How is more hands-on with the show.
Sure.
How they really feel when you ask them the question. And when you ask them that, they weren't kind of like, "Oh, it's good." Like they were kind of like, "No, it's really good. You're really going to enjoy it." They were really positive. So
no, that's the thing. And I can identify with that too. Like I'm in the game industry. I work on video games, right? And I've worked on things where a trailer for the game I'm working on comes out, and the studio has nothing to do with it, and then maybe that trailer comes out, and you're like, "Oh, they made our work look bad," or that doesn't look very good, or this wasn't finished yet. Why'd they show that? Like I get that kind of a vibe, from. It can happen. People that work on that stuff are pretty passionate about it. So
I always think that's funny, not to derail it, but the studio is not the one that's putting together trailers or things like that. You send it off to a trailer company.
Exactly.
And then the studio's going, "No, that's not what we had planned." I always think that's just bass backwards, but anyway.
Yeah, right. You would think you would, this is going to be on my... my name's going to be on this. I kind of want to...
Right. I want to show this thing in the best light. I'm not going to give it to somebody else that wasn't there from day one. But,
So what did you guys think overall of all the characters?
Robin, I was sold on the story of Robin. I they obviously want to get you invested in Raven because she's a pretty heavy influence in the show. She's
the center of the show.
And they open with her and stuff like that. Raven is always one of my favorite characters in the Teen Titans. Mm-hmm. I love Raven in the the cartoons and stuff like that, and in the comics too. Like, she's got a really interesting backstory, and she represents a really important part of the team. So I thought she did a really good job. The effects I thought were pretty cool. The story is interesting. There's a lot of like season long backstory. There's a lot. They're not telling you everything up front, right? I'm like, well, why is she dreaming about Dick Grayson? Why is this happening? Things that seem convenient, but I'm sure are like plot points that'll get addressed like eventually in the show.
Right.
So, Robin and Raven, I enjoyed. Starfire was probably my biggest question mark because it just seemed like such a big departure from, Alien Space Princess. She's kind of a hard character to crack, especially trying to translate it, Orange Girl from space into live action. And I was really interested to see like what they were going to do, and I'm still interested to see what they're going to do. It's kind of one of those things like it's I think it's trying to use its advantage as a TV show. Like they're not telling you everything. Like Starfire wakes up and she doesn't even know who she is, and I wasn't sure if like it's just because she was in a car crash and she has temporary amnesia or something like that. I wasn't sure if that's what's going on, but you don't know why she's there, and you don't know what's going on, and neither does she. So I thought that was kind of an interesting, angle at it. And I thought Anna Diop, I don't know how you pronounce her last name. I thought she did a really good job. It's one of those things where it's like you're already asking a lot of somebody to like play this character, but also like play this character with a very clear, different spin on it.
Right.
For this interpretation, and I'm sure that I keep hearing all these things like, "Oh, just keep watching this in the series." Like, she's gonna wear the costume and do all the stuff and all that stuff. So I'm interested to see like story wise how they're gonna facilitate all that. But for right now, I'm interested. I'm invested. And I think that's what the job of the pilot is supposed to do, is to get you to ask questions and be intrigued and want to watch the next episode, and I think it did that. And Beast Boy, seeing his brief scene at the end of this first episode, what he does, I thought was like extremely Beast Boy. That's something that Beast Boy would do, and I thought that was funny. So, and that's really, I can't ask much more of Beast Boy than that. He can be a deep character, but he's probably my least favorite character of the Titans, but
he's the comic relief.
He's the comic relief. He's the comic relief, and that's what he gives you at the end of the episode. So I thought he was cool too. So
for me, I really went in there like similar to Rob. Like I don't know anything about Hawk and Dove. I read, but like it's pretty much narrowed down to specific characters. And Hawk and Dove is just not on my radar at all. And like after these first two episodes, I was like, okay, like I'm really into this. Like I want to know more about these two. Their dynamics interesting. The fact that it's like they're the older of the Titans. They're almost like kind of ready to wrap everything up, and it's just they were very captivating to me. And then because I went in thinking I'd be all for Robin, and he was probably third on the list. Like Hawk and Dove, Raven, Robin, and even Starfire, like in that order, were probably the characters that I really kind of that's how I'd rank how interesting I found them in the episode. And Starfire, from what I remember, she's usually very naive, and in this show it seems like she's very street savvy. She's very slick. She thinks fast. She doesn't seem to. Things still need to be explained to her, but she's not nearly as kind of like clueless.
She was very quick on her feet. She knew like the questions to ask, leading questions like, "Well, why am I here?" Mm-hmm. Do you want do you want the same thing in your hotel room? And was kind of like trying to lead and realizing what she say like it's very cheeky, very uncomfortable. Then she realized, okay, I must have asked for something really crazy. Now just bring me a cup of coffee. Like she knew where to play that.
Because like even in like the recent Starfire miniseries or series that came out like 2 years ago, she was kind of like just loofy and kind of goofy and having fun, whereas this Starfire is trying almost to survive. In unfamiliar areas, and in general, I thought the show did refreshing adaptations. They seem fresh. They seem new. These are the characters that I know, Raven, Robin, Starfire. This is slightly different,
She's connected to Raven too. And
well, Raven's connected to everybody.
Right.
Raven, it's almost like they're coming together for Raven, and then that's where the Teen Titans come from. Like Raven seems to be the magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think and Ryan, you kind of hit the nail on the head with Starfire. Is the perception when we were seeing the first images of Starfire, everybody kind of lost their crap, for lack of a better word, of like, oh my gosh, that's what Starfire looks like. She doesn't know who she is for whatever the circumstances are, and us, the audience, really don't know who she is or how she's figuring that out. So kind of putting that first picture together that we saw of her and seeing her in this, you kind of go, oh, okay, I'm understanding, like, the literal fish out of water. Like, are they going to lean into the alien stuff? How does she have these powers? Why doesn't she remember? Is it from the accident? Is it because of a connection to Raven that's messing up with her and everybody else? Is that why Dick is angry and frustrated because Raven is this influencing with all of them? So it left with a lot of questions. And talking about Hawk and Dove, you guys can say or not, or maybe it's addressed in it, but the original Dove was a guy. So
right.
I don't know if that's going to play into the show at all.
That didn't come in.
Well, that's part of the comics
in the first
too.
two episodes. Like there was no mention of that.
No.
At all. It almost seems like they seem to be kind of a team. Like it seems like they were always together. They never like alluded to that there was another Dove. It seems like it's just been the two of them. Like they're kind of the good version of Harley and Joker.
Yeah, like maybe that's just the interpretation they went with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But not in what we watched was there any kind of clues to a male.
Yeah, there was no reference to a previous Dove.
Gotcha.
Like Hawk never had a brother or anything. They didn't try to twist it or change. Like it was just Minka Kelly, right? That's her name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you guys have all said it. It left me when I turned the app on, or at the app, I have the Apple TV, and I saw that there were what I thought were 3 episodes. I was like, oh, cool, I get to watch all 3 episodes. And when the episode ended, I thought, oh, I'll go right to the next one. It said, wait 6 days. And I was like, oh my gosh. So the pilot did what it set out to do, is it drew me in, and it'll be interesting to see once we get to the end of it to kind of look back at the pilot. And like we were saying before, some pilots are really strong and some pilots are like, all right, here is the meat of the episode, or the potatoes of it, the meat of it is going to come after it, and we could see where they took their strides and their leaps from to get where the show is eventually going to go. So it left me wanting more, and that's all I can really ask out of any show, book, or movie. I wasn't counting the seconds of it, going, oh my gosh, is this thing over yet? That when it ended, I was like, that's all longer it is. So it was a check mark in the win category for me, that I was glad I bought the app. And it was fun to play around with the app before. If you haven't bought the app, I was buying it, yes, for the new shows, but there's so much other content. But when this ended, I was like, oh man, I want more shows. I want more things like this. And in the downtime, then I'll play with the app.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm right with, just to get in some thoughts to wrap this up. I like Rob said, I thought this did its job. It tone aside, I feel like it's almost there, but they have a little bit of work to do. But I think they can get there. It got me invested in the story and the characters, and it's definitely enough for me to say, I want to keep watching this. I want to see where it goes. I can see that they are on a trajectory. There's a lot of the whole like worlds colliding kind of deal going on, and it's something that's, I think, is intriguing. I want to see how they're going to come together, and because it is like a DC Universe like show, they're not held back by anything that they aren't allowed to do. They can do whatever they want, basically.
Right.
Like tone-wise, content-wise, and probably character-wise, too. They can probably do whatever they want, I would think. So, I'm down with this show. The tone, it is violent. It's violent as crap. And I don't know if that is really... I think it's probably a little bit too over the top for me. Like, it's... A lot of things that you see in the show aren't even things that you would see in a comic book. Like it's a little bit too much, but it's like Netflix. It's trying to be like Netflix.
Yes. There's way more Netflix in it
It's trying
than
to be
CW.
it's trying to be like Netflix, but it still plays like a CW show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like almost there, but not quite. Like, it's trying to be realistic, but they still have fantastical elements, and they've thrown all the gore into. So it's kind of wonky to me that on that regard. But the actors are good. The performances are good. I'm invested in the characters and the story. So the other stuff I can kind of ignore for a little bit and let it ride and keep watching the show. So, that's what I thought. And I guess we can do final thoughts and letter grades too. I would give the letter grade of this particular episode like a B-, I think. It's good. It's solid. But there's room for improvement. But I'm totally willing to give it that leeway. So what do you guys think?
I like I said earlier, I like that it's an adaptation. It's not supposed to be, exactly what we've read from Wolfman and Perez, and I feel like it's a little refreshing, and it'll be a journey that will go on with these characters, especially Robin. But I enjoyed all the actors. I liked them in all their roles. I thought they did a good job being who they were in the world that they're in. It definitely leans itself more towards Netflix, like you said. I didn't really get too much of a CW vibe from it. But like I'd give it a B. I do. I like it. BB plus. I enjoyed it because now it's like if I didn't like this, I wouldn't spend money on the app. I'd wait for the Harley Quinn show to come out. So therefore, I'm gonna go buy the app sooner, than I was originally planning because I'm gonna pick my moments here. Like, you guys have to. If you're going to charge me $100 for this thing, you've got to earn it. I wasn't buying it before. Like, you could offer me how many trips in a Schumacher Batmobile. I'm not going to sign up early if I don't know you guys are going to give me good content. But I enjoyed this. I don't know anything about Doom Patrol. That trailer sold me what we were there. That looked really interesting. I'm down for that. And the Harley Quinn clip sold me. So like, I'm down to buy the app. I like Titans, and I'm looking forward to see what else they have in store for me.
Cool. Eric?
Like we were talking about before, the goal of any pilot is to get you interested, and that's what this did. I was thinking about the show. I mean, I had to write a review about it, so that was one of the reasons why. But I was even thinking about it after I wrote the review. Yeah. And my bigger interest was, how is everyone else going to view it? Because I mean, it is edgy and it is it pushes the envelope especially for DC. Like, we're used to this stuff with the Marvel stuff on Netflix. Like, Daredevil's very brutal and Punisher's very brutal. So you have those things. And I was just wondering, well, are people going to accept this from DC? And I did. So I want to see, after episode 2 now, because I got to see it, if everyone stays the same. Or, because I've read some pretty bad reviews about it so far. So I want to see when episode 2 comes out, if everyone feels the same. Or if they start to warm up to the show. And give it a shot. Overall, I give it a B plus, like Pete said. I thought the pilot did its job, and even episode 2 expounds upon that. So you guys will get to see that next week when it comes out. And I definitely, like I said, I wasn't going to buy the app, but now I want to buy it because of these first 2 episodes I saw. So yeah, I'm interested going forward. I want to see where they go.
Yeah, cool. And you had most of your thoughts in, Rob. But
yeah,
what do you think in letter grade?
Yeah, letter grade. That's a strong B plus in my book. I've already said, glad I bought the app. Just by sight unseen, I was in for the app right from the get go. But I already said before, it did what it set out to do for me. It got me excited for episode 2. Disappointed that I couldn't play it right then. But that was one last question I wanted to ask you guys. Are you okay with it being a weekly show, or would you rather had all 13 episodes all at one shot? I think it's a good business model to have, rather than you're keeping people coming back week after week. I mean, if it wasn't good, then you're like,
binge watching is kind of ridiculous sometimes.
It's overrated.
I think it is.
Overrated.
It is too. I like having that thing to kind of wait for. When something's good, you're like, man, 6 days, and I get to go back to this thing that I'm just starting to acquire a taste for.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that for this app, like, that's all they have. It's not like Netflix where there's tons of stuff. They can just drop whatever they want or whatever. like this is the only original thing they have. So for them to drop it all, I think would be just kind of like
I just hope it
foolish on their
stays this
part.
way. Like, I don't want them
Yeah.
to eventually get content and then drop everything at once.
Well,
Because then
maybe
it's also hard to avoid spoilers.
Right.
Well,
we're
yeah,
so
exactly.
old school.
I'm hoping that maybe once they have multiple shows, they could do it like a CW, like, okay, you get Titans on Friday, you get Harley Quinn on Wednesdays, or something like that, and they stick with the one episode a week format. I think that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much content out there. Like right now, we were talking before the show. Daredevil season 3 comes out next week, but I'm still in the middle of Jessica Jones season 2, and then Iron Fist and Luke Cage, and there's all these shows, and then all the CW shows. There's so much content. I kind of don't mind the one episode a week kind of deal, so it's a little bit easier to keep track of, and you can build it up, talk about it with your friends,
Right.
and it's easier for us to kind of converse about it than like, okay, I have to binge 11 and 12 hours of this before so I can even talk about it, because all
It
the
just makes it
spoilers are
easier
there,
to
so,
review.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm old school. I don't know how old the rest of you. I mean, I'm old. I think I'm older, definitely older than
Peter.
Pete and Ryan. So, I mean, I grew up where you had to wait every week
Same here.
for and I, like you said, it builds anticipation. So, I hope they keep it that way.
Yeah, same here. While we've been talking, I've been flipping through the Teen Titans Celebration of 50 Years book that came out, and there's just a lot of different iterations of the Titans, and I think this is just another iteration of the Titans that I'm pleased with. So,
yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. I think there's a legacy there for Teen Titans and Titans. And it's kind of one of DC's more interesting properties that can be turned into other things, and it's got a lot of hooks. The thing that's really cool about the Titans is because and the Teen Titans and stuff is that there's a character for everybody. You know what I mean? Like Robin and Starfire and Beast Boy and Raven and hopefully eventually Cyborg. I think Cyborg is going to be in this.
Yeah, he was cast. I forget who's plays him, but he is cast.
Is he going to be in this season? He is, right? Because he's going to dovetail. He's going to. I think he's supposed to help dovetail into the into Doom Patrol somehow.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's not Ray Fisher.
And it's not Ray Fisher. Well, I mean, it's a different universe. But yeah, I mean, there's the characters are really strong, and I think there's something for everybody, and I think that contributes to the different tones and stuff like that. But
the one cool
it's
thing
cool.
about the Titans or the Teen Titans, well, really DC Comics in general, was their sidekicks are really heroes in themselves. So when you look at the original Titans, you're talking like Robin, Donna Troy, Wonder Girl. You're talking
Right.
about Aqualad, Wally West,
Kid Flash, yeah.
I said, yeah. And it's just the sidekicks are just big enough characters. I mean, Nightwing has his own book. Robin's has his own book. Like, these characters are just as big as the quote unquote main character / hero, and it's appropriate that they do get their own show. Like, they are big deals, at least in this medium.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a big enough deal for them to put the back of their streaming service on this
Right.
concept in this show. They're launching. I mean, it's going to be its own little, another TV universe. So,
And it's
especially
launching
once-
other, like, there's the Doom Patrol is
That's
coming.
what I'm
but-
saying. Like,
yeah.
Doom Patrol's is going to dovetail.
It's
off
gonna,
of
there's an
this.
episode this season on Titans that's called Doom Patrol. And
Yeah,
it's going to
it's
introduce. right.
what do they call it? It's a backdoor pilot
yeah.
for Doom Patrol, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And that
And season 2 of
Yeah.
Titans has already been,
Yeah, that's
greenlit,
confirmed.
So
yeah,
it's
we got
coming.
that news. They told us
Yeah.
that at the preview.
Yeah, so
was- yeah.
I mean, it's whether you like it or not, there's a whole bunch of DC Universe stuff coming. So, it's I think it's cool. Overall, it's great to have new DC content that is fun and different. And I
Not
mean,
Gotham.
Marvel doesn't not Gotham. That's right. I'm actually excited for this final season of Gotham.
Oh, I'm
because-
happy for the
Are
final
you?
season too.
What?
I'm happy
Oh,
for the final season too.
Well, I'm happy mainly because it's going to be over, but
Yes.
that's why. But they're going to. I can't wait to see how in the hell they explain themselves.
Yeah, I want to
and work their way out of the massive pit that they've dug.
I want to see how they land this ship. Like, it's been it launched off
You've
the pad.
watched since day one, right?
Oh yeah.
Ryan?
Oh yeah, day one.
I stopped season 2, episode 1. That's when I stopped.
Yeah. And season 5, there's only 10 episodes. They have apparently it's going to have every Batman villain ever created in it. And for the finale, they're gonna do a 10-year time jump.
How many Jokers have there been?
2, and there's gonna be at least one more.
Oh,
so,
God.
And they're gonna have Bane in the show. He's gonna break Alfred's back. Spoilers. Like, there's all kinds of just goofy crap that they're gonna do.
Wait, he's really gonna break Alfred's back?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Oh, I thought that was a joke.
It's hard to joke. Nope, it's hard to joke about Gotham because it's
Man.
Yeah, man.
It's funny 'cause
I
it's
stopped
true.
before last year.
You made it that far?
Yeah, I went through the first 3 seasons. I started watching the pilot or the episode 1 of last year, and I was like, you know what? I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah, and that's something we've talked about with Bill and stuff. I think for this last season, I think maybe we'll do a couple of podcasts on Gotham.
I'm gonna watch it because now
I think he
asked me to review it. He asked me and Ryan Lauer to review it last year, and we were like, we don't watch that.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. But like, if y'all catch up and watch this, if you should catch up, and then we could do a show before season 5 comes out, and then we'll do like a season 5, either like a mid-season or a wrap-up show or something.
I will say that when they killed the Waynes, it was really graphic. I'm really kind of surprised they did it that way.
Yeah,
it was like, wow, they went there on television.
Yeah, they go lots of places on that show.
Wow.
So.
And some of it isn't. Like, I'm not mad that they went that way, but the execution of it's just really bad.
What?
Yeah. Well, that's Gotham. That's Gotham in a nutshell.
What happened to Baby Ivy?
Oh,
Baby Ivy turned into Ivy 2, and then Ivy 2 turned into grown-up Ivy 3. So,
like in a matter of a day.
Yeah. So she's like a plant. She just got some sunlight and water, and she grew up.
Yep.
There you go.
No, it's more convoluted than that.
It's more convoluted than that. But
there's a metahuman that ages people up, and he did that. And then that was Ivy 2, and then there's like a, magical goo
Bean
drugs.
Does Gordon have a mustache yet?
No, but he had a poison ivy influenced dream, where Bruce did, and then Bruce saw Gordon in the dream, and he had a mustache in it. And then after he got revived, he told Gordon that, hey, I had this dream and you had a mustache in it.
You remember?
And no, I'm not making any of that up.
Like, you remember that weird? We're gonna go back to Titans real quick. Like that weird Batman photo that came from Titans. You remember when that got leaked? That like supposedly like Batman and Titans.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yes,
people killed that. But I remember seeing all the crazy ones on Twitter. Like, love the ugly Bruce Wayne mask from Gotham when he dresses all like
that was awful.
And I was like, it's like
you say that a lot. We say that a lot watching Gotham.
I go, you guys like this?
And
I wanted to
2
like
episodes too.
Oh.
wanted to like it so bad. I really did.
And
I did.
Jerome was so
I thought
bad
season
for me.
2 was excellent. I really liked it. I thought they were going somewhere.
Is season 2 when they did Azrael?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was awful. They screwed up Azrael.
Wow.
Well, see,
how disappointed are you, or you just knew it was going to be that bad?
No, I was, when they said Azrael's, this should be a whole other podcast, but when they said Azrael's coming, I was like, oh man, okay, I'm down with this. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like Azrael, and then they
went left.
They
went left.
found a way to make it bad, and
They really went
What
left.
does he wear, like a
bad.
green suit?
Oh, no.
he looks like Azrael, but he's not really Azrael. He's just like tricked into thinking he's Azrael.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not like the quote real Azrael. That whole season, they basically made Hugo Strange invent all the villains. Like, he makes Poison Ivy, he makes Clayface, he makes Azrael, he makes
This is hurting
Mr.
my
Freeze.
head.
This sounds like Oscorp in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It's basically that. It basically is that. They just found a shortcut and they did it. Yeah. So, Gotham.
I'd love to just be on your Gotham podcast just to ask questions. Not
That
having
would be
seen any of
nice.
it.
Be like, wait, because it could be just a giant question and answer. Like, wait,
Yeah.
How did they do that?
We're not even going
The
to
show
watch
wasn't
it.
supposed to
We'll
be
just
this.
ask questions.
It just wasn't supposed to be. The show was not supposed to be what it is.
I always thought it was going to be like Law and Order, like SVU.
Right.
Like you would get
Right.
maybe
That lasted like 3 episodes.
no, like
I thought it was going to be Gotham Central live action.
yeah, I would have thought
That's what I thought,
like
too.
Gordon would have been in the office, and then you would get just like the corner of the cape going out the window, and somebody like Montoya coming in, going, "Was that him? Yeah. Here's our next case. Whatever that is."
Exactly.
That's what I
Yes.
was kind of led to believe as they were first originally talking about it, and then when this came
how they
out,
sold it.
yeah, that's how they sold it. And I'm like, wow, talk about a bad bill of sale.
And season 1 was like every episode was its own episode, like its own season.
Yeah. This season,
Fish Mooney.
They connected nothing. It was
Did
every
the Penguin
episode.
gain any weight?
No, but like I said, they're going to do a 10-year time jump in season 5, so he'll probably gain like 100
I
pounds.
liked
They
it.
should just bring back DeVito.
and I read a 10-year time jump, and nobody will be recast in the 10-year
Yeah.
time jump. Everybody
Is that what they said?
Yes, there. I
Even Batman.
Wait,
even
Bruce
Batman,
Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
Wait, hold on.
They'll put him on still.
David Mazouz is going to be Batman 10 years from now?
That's
They
what.
they will superimpose his mouth
On
in the bat suit.
on
You know-
Affleck's body.
Yeah, they'll do like the reverse Cavill.
Yeah, well, you know what they'll do instead of like de-aging like Samuel L. Jackson for Captain Marvel,
up-age
they'll
him?
up-age.
I don't know about this.
Oh god. Well, they're gonna
You
they're
know,
gonna
they'll
fill him
have
out
to be
too.
very tactful, but Gotham doesn't have that, so I'm.
I
curious to
made
see
that.
what they
I made
do.
that part up. But yeah, I had just read today that they will not recast anybody, but they're going to do the 10-year time jump.
impossible.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Improbable, unlikely, but nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
No,
If you've watched the
that's-
Super Mario Brothers movie, you know what that means. So,
Oh, Jesus.
we should all trust the fungus, I guess, and get the hell out of here. I think it's time to go. But Titans, go watch it. Let us know what you think. You know, just talk to us on Twitter and all that. And you know, I think it's gonna be fun just to kind of follow the show. And maybe we'll do another BOF podcast. I don't know, at the end, at the middle point, or maybe at the end of the season. You know, like a season review or something like
I'd
that.
love to.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think
That'd
that'd
be
be
great.
fun.
Yeah.
To kind of reconvene and be like, boy, that show got way better, or whoa, boy, that show like was awful. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, Rob, got anything to plug?
Yeah, just this little show that I do with Ryan. Robin, Everyone Loves the Drake, part of the Batman Universe Podcast Network. I just finished editing episode 82. Will be out this Wednesday. We covered a little bit of New York Comic Con stuff. Ryan wasn't able to be on this episode, but it was Terrence and I talking about the Young Justice Wonder Comics imprint from Brian Michael Bendis with Tim Drake, Connor Kent, and Bart Allen. And then I review the Walmart 100-page giant, the Teen Titans issues 1 and 2. So you can find me at Twitter at ELTD Podcast, and all my own personal Twitter is DrummerRob10.
Nice. What do you got going on, Eric? I know you got some shows.
Well, you could find.
Nice, dude. Nice.
I don't even know why I'm
Wait a
laughing.
minute, what's he talking about? All right. Well, no, I have a couple articles right now on BOF. I have my most recent Suicide Squad review for Suicide Squad number 47. And I have my review, obviously, of Titans. Go check those out. Check Pete's out as well. You can find me on Twitter at FinalE33 and argue with me there.
Nice. And what about you, Mr. Vera, as Rick would say?
There have been segments
screws
on the
up
BOF
names.
podcast about my last name. I'm not going to reveal it yet because I want you guys to keep guessing. But right now on BOF, I've got a review of Deathstroke 36, Deathstroke in Arkham, Detective 890. James Robinson is writing that. He's doing some really crazy stuff, really good stuff. Two-Face, love it. What else? I got my Titans review up on BOF.
You got some video stuff coming
I
up
do.
as well.
I have some videos from the Reign of the Superman interview. I interviewed Sam Liu.
Nice.
Tokes Agalundoy. I think that's how you sound her name. I wish.
Wow. That was expertly done.
Thank you. Jim Creed.
Which I videoed, by the way. I shot.
And
Oh.
Jim Creed was one of the writers. Sam Liu, big fan of Sam Liu. I was talking about his Suicide Squad Hell to Pay earlier. And Mr. James Tucker, who is a legendary
Yeah, he's
animated
good.
producer. It was a pleasure to talk to him. Pretty soon I'm going to have stuff for Batman the Animated Series coming up for the 27th anniversary. Conroy, Strong, Lester, Radomski, and who played Poison Ivy? I forget her name. She was great. So,
Diane Pershing.
Diane
Yeah.
Pershing. Yeah. And if you want to interact with me on Twitter and Instagram.
Is that video too? Video too?
That is
all
video
that?
too. I have to edit that, put
nice.
that together. That's gonna.
got
that's
some
good
good stuff
Excited
coming
about
up.
that.
I'm gonna send that to the West Coast probably sometime next week. For Justin.
BOF West Coast.
VOF West Coast, mail it out to Riverside, California. And if you interact with me on Twitter or Instagram at Pete Illustrated, both accounts. Got some cool pictures from Comic-Con, and we'll just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about on Twitter.
Awesome. Yeah, and follow me on Twitter at SMB_Ryan. Follow the Batman Podcast Network at BatPod Network. And and BOF is on Instagram. Follow Batman on Film on Instagram. I'm kind of the dude that handles that. I've been posting some stuff. I posted a whole bunch of picture collages of Pete and Eric at Comic-Con. It's some good stuff.
A lot of Harley Quinns.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like it wasn't all the same one. It was like all these different iterations, like the movie one, the comic one. Someone even did like the Apocalypse Fury version. The
recent Apocalypse one. There was one who looked like she was from Arkham City. She has so many looks, so it was kind of fun to see.
And I
realized I had some more pictures I didn't send. Pete, that you didn't have because I didn't. Some of them weren't DC related, so I didn't send them. But maybe I will. I'll just send it to you guys so you can put it out there anyway.
And I just got to say...
The one with the little He-Man guy, that one was cute. I want to send that one in. There was like a 3-year-old dressed like He-Man, and he had like his diaper and his loincloth. Chest plate.
Eric was way more interested in the 30-year-old dressed as He-Man.
It looked... Yeah, I saw him walking by, but I was like, holy crap, that's guy's He-Man. And Pete's like, I see him all the time.
It's like, I've been here for 3 days, dude. He's been here just as long as I have. Like, you started seeing the same cosplayers over and over again.
Yeah.
And you're just like, took a picture with him, took a picture with her, got a picture with him, talked to him. He's a jerk. Retired Wonder Woman was by far the most awesome person you could meet at Comic-Con, by the way. You can follow her on Instagram at Retired Wonder Woman. She is hysterical. I got a picture with her. Really funny stuff. She even does stand-up comedy, so I might hire her for my wedding. But my reception, she could break the ice. But there were a lot of great stuff. A lot of great cosplayers, artists, just booths, toys. I mean, it was fantastic. It was really a lot of fun. Thursday's the best day to go.
You guys did a really good job for representing BOF. That was just fun. Like, I wish I could have been there, but to go to the BOF account, and then even you guys both personal accounts, seeing you wear the BOF shirts and going, well, I couldn't be there, but BOF represented the con very well, and just some great content every day. Seeing, or sometimes almost every hour, the content you guys are putting up was just fantastic. So good job to both of you.
Thank you. No, yeah, it's really like it's really good to see y'all out at a place like that representing BOF and the site and getting to talk. Like you said, you got to talk to a lot of people that
came up to me,
know
fans,
the site.
Yeah, like, hey, love the shirt, love Batman on Film. Even had I took a picture of I forget his name. It's on Instagram. One of the cosplayers did the Batfleck costume. He was a big fan of BOF. Just random people came up to me, so it was cool. So they were out there, and it was great. It was great to meet some just fellow BOFers, especially people who aren't as involved as like me and Eric, and it was just fun to meet. Like, oh yeah, like you like this site too.
Yeah. So that's always good to see. It's something we take for granted, I think, but actually being able to represent the site and be out there and have somebody acknowledge it, I think is really cool. And so as
Jim Lee knows us. Jim Lee told me he knows us.
Jim Lee's a big fan. He said,
"Yeah,
yeah."
Well, there you go, Jim Lee. You're awesome. I'm buying that dang Hush omnibus. It comes out next year.
I can't
Do
wait
they have
for
an
that.
Absolute edition out?
Yeah.
They have every edition out.
Rob
just bought another one like last week.
I just bought the what is it?
Such a good book.
Unwrapped
version.
Next Wednesday, Rob sets the record for most variants bought in one Wednesday.
He's got all the versions of Hush.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I don't blame him. It's an amazing.
I love that book.
Jim Lee's such a great artist.
The noir versions of the books are pencils with inks, but the unwrapped versions are pencils only. And I think a new version of Hush Unwrapped just came out with a brand new Jim Lee cover, and Rob just got that, and he made us all jealous.
How can we sell this reprint for more money?
Just market it towards Rob Myers, and he'll buy it.
Yeah, put a new cover on it, and he'll buy it. Well, now that's me with these dang Nightfall re-releases.
Because they included two more issues in the whole thing.
Well, know that they did all three. This is a tangent, but they end of show tangent, Rick Shoe style. But they had the.
You have taken more shots at Rick on this podcast.
When Rick's not on the show, the thing to do is to mention him, and he feels good about himself and all that. So, But
I'm sure he's on a golf cart right now taking a selfie.
Oh God!
you know, a mimosa in one hand and a selfie, cell phone in the other. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Rick Shoe's the best, but like
Love
they
you,
had
Rick.
they had those. They just came out with the giant 3-volume omnibus of Nightfall, Night's Quest, Night's
Those
End.
are beautiful. My God,
They're beautiful books. They have brand new Kelly Jones artwork on them, and they, unlike previous trades of that series, they did a really good job, and they put like everything in it. Like for years, they had missed the Night Quest: The Search had not been reprinted like in anything. You had to find the individual issues of like Justice League Task Force number whatever.
Right.
But in the Omnibuy, they reprinted all that stuff in order. And so what they've done now is they have taken everything that was in the omnibuses and they have chopped it up into what will be 9 separate trade paperbacks for the 25th anniversary of Nightfall. So they have like Prelude to Nightfall, Nightfall Part 1, Nightfall Part 2, Night Quest Part 1, Night Quest Part 2, Night Quest, like the Search and the Crusade, and then, or like the Search Part 1, Search Part 2, and then the Crusade. Crusade 1, Crusade 2, and the Search, whatever. And then they do like Night's End and Prodigal and Troika. So they're going to have 9 volumes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like the Return of the Superman, Death and Return of Superman
Dude,
books
that's almost
they did.
as long
where,
as No Man's Land.
It is, and so like once you have all of them, like they're only like four books or something in, but once you have all of them, all the spines kind of make all the 3 Nightfall logos.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
The Nightfall, Night's Quest, Night's End logos. It's going to be a really nice.
I love
collection.
it when they do stuff like that with the spines of trades.
Yeah, and Nightfall totally deserves it. You know, I've got the Omnibuy, but I'm like Rob. I collect all these versions of Nightfall, so it's gonna be cool just to collect them and have them that in that format.
I can't blame you.
Me neither. I mean, that's another great book. So yeah.
Yep.
I'm still waiting to do a No Man's Land show. I want that one.
Oh my God. Maybe maybe for some. Everyone Loves the Drake episode or something.
Yeah, we're going to do.
We still don't know how in the heck we're going to cover all that.
We're going to do some variation of it. I'm still trying to plan that out.
Yeah, and just to kind of tease this, but sometime later this year, maybe sometime in December, when things are like, we start getting some Christmas time or something, get some time on our hands. I want to do Is it the 25th or 30th? I think it's the 30th anniversary this year of The Killing Joke. I think it's the 30th anniversary because it came out in '88, right? Yeah. So it's the 30th anniversary. So I want to do. I think Ryan Lauer I think is interested in this too. I think we want to do some sort of anniversary show on Killing Joke, and because they had a brand new giant absolute edition of Killing Joke that just came out, and
really, that's great.
Yeah.
Yep. And there is a novel. The Killing Joke novel that just came out, big hardback novel. It's kind of a new experiment DC's doing, and they're going to be taking some storylines and making novels out of them. So I think that adds extra context, and so I think we could just have like a big Killing Joke like extravaganza
and
show.
We got to talk about the movie as well,
and the movie as well, of course. Yeah, so there's a lot of content we can make for a nice Killing Joke anniversary show. I think so. Maybe later, late this year, we'll try to do that. But yeah, so I guess that's enough rambling. So for Pete, Eric, and Rob, I'm Ryan. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey now! You've been listening to the Batman on Film podcast, a proud member and the sponsor of the Batman Podcast Network, BatmanPodcastNetwork.com. You can listen to the BOF podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn, and wherever good podcasts like this one can be found. Want to advertise on the BOF podcast? Go to advertisecast.com/the Batman on Film Con podcast. Follow Jet on Twitter at Batman on Film and on BOF's Facebook fan page at facebook.com/jet.batmanonfilm. Email Jet via jet@batman-on-film.com. I'm announcer Rachel. Thanks for listening.